All right. Well, let me officially kick this call off here. 11:30 Eastern time here on a Wednesday morning. Cole Custer, driver of the number 41 Autodesk Fusion 360 Ford Mustang. Got a new sponsor this weekend, Cole. Heading out to Sonoma, California guy, heading out to the California coast. How do you feel about this weekend and having a new sponsor and just kind of looking forward to get back on the road course?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I think the road courses have been something that's, it's always kind of a wild card, and it's always a kind of equalizer for the field, I would say. So for us, it's a great opportunity to have a solid run and hopefully find ourselves, with a shot to win by the end of it. So it's a really technical place that I really enjoy at Sonoma, and a place I haven't ran in the Cup Series yet. So it's going to be a little bit of learning, but it's just one of those places that, you have so much elevation change in that carousel. I mean, it's just a fun racetrack to run. So, and we have Autodesk, like you said, on the car this week. And, it's really cool. I mean, we had them on the car at Texas. I think a few years ago, I ran an Xfinity race and we won with them. And from there, it's just been a great relationship, and it's been awesome having them on the car. And we use their software a ton at the race shop to be able to design parts and do different things. So they're a huge part of what we do.
All right, very good. We got them lined up here for you, so let's get started. We'll start with Claire B. Lang. Go ahead, Claire.
Thank you. Cole, you're from Ladera Ranch, so you're from California. You talked about your relationship with road courses in general. What about this particular road course?
Yeah, it's a place that it's still like 10 hours probably from my home, because Northern California is so far from Southern California. But whenever you go back to California, it's always special. I mean, you always, try and see family, and it's just always a homecoming, and you always get to have the in and out. So I look forward to that. But it's just going to Sonoma. I ran a few K&N races there, and I've always loved it. And it's just one of those places that it's fun to kind of slip inside around and be able to go up and down the hills and hit the curbs. And it's just one of those places that I think every driver loves to go to.
What's the toughest part about Sonoma? Like, what's the toughest turn, and how have you prepared for it?
I would say with how they've changed the course, one of the toughest turns now is that carousel. I mean, I think it's just a really awkward corner, and it doesn't feel like a corner a race car should be going through. It's really tight, really downhill, off camber. It's just a really tough corner, and it's something that you never go through there and feel like you did it right. I would say it never feels natural. So it's one of those things you just kind of have to try and hit your marks and make sure you don't overdo it through there.
Thanks, and good luck. Okay, have fun there.
Thank you.
Thank you, Claire. Let's go to Marty Sakala. Marty, you're up.
Thank you, Dan. Cole, thanks for the time, man. Hope you're doing well. You kind of just brought up this is your first time in a Cup car, but it's not your first time at Sonoma. I know you've had what's now ARCA West experience there in the past. Just what have been the takeaways you've noticed from driving a car in forward to this weekend?
Well, Sonoma is just, like I said, it's just such a technical racetrack, and it's definitely nice to have some laps around there. There's so much fall off. There's so much you have to do to try and make it around those slick corners, and it's not an easy place to get around. So having those laps will definitely help. But I'm sure in the Cup car, it's going to be a little bit different, trying to figure out just a lot more horsepower, trying to figure out how you're going to work it through those corners and be more patient probably. So I'm sure it's going to be a lot of learning pretty fast.
And then like 2019, you just talked about the carousel. Some of these guys, like the rookies that are entering this weekend, I don't think they won't have any practice. I haven't really looked at a race weekend schedule, so I'm not 100% sure on that. But having some experience on that carousel portion, could that be like something maybe an advantage, or say?
Yeah, for sure, a little bit. Being able to kind of know what I'm looking for going through that corner. And it leads into a great passing zone. So I think it definitely opens up some things. If you can get through the carousel pretty good, it opens up a lot of opportunities to pass. So there's those key corners that you're always looking for to try and make sure you can pass good. And I think the carousel is definitely one of them.
Thank you, Cole. Good luck this weekend, man.
Thank you.
All right, Marty, thank you. Let's go to Lee Spencer. Lee, hi. How are you?
Hey, Dan. How's it going?
Good
It's early here in Portland, but we're doing all right.
Good. Good to see you. Go ahead.
I can't tell you how good it was to see you out running after your Texas mishap, Cole, but um, wanted to know, you've had really stellar runs on road courses. I mean, you almost won Canadian Tire. You led laps there the last two times that you raced there, and just curious, how much confidence does that give you coming to a road course?
Yeah, I've always loved the road course races, and like you said, I feel like I've actually been pretty close to winning a few road course races, and I still haven't won one. So that's probably the one thing in my career I would say till now that I really want to try and check off is have a road course win, because I feel like every single one I've been to, we've run pretty solid, and I've been happy with it. And it's just, there's so many things that have to go right to win a road course race. With the strategy, and people are running off course and running into you and spinning out, and it's just the races are so crazy. You have to have a lot of things go right. So I definitely want to try and check off that road course win. That would be huge.
And I'm just curious about the other night at Charlotte. And is there some politically correct way to describe what it feels like, the closing rate, when you come up on cars that are not particularly as fast as the leaders? Just kind of wondering, how do you manage that, and how dangerous is it like a depends moment at times?
It's the biggest thing is it's just a little bit frustrating, because it's, you're coming by them so many times, and every single time it's a way of how are you going to manage to get by them? How are you going to time it right? And it's hard to time something right when they're going so much slower, and then you lose spots, you lose momentum, and it's just, it costs you positions. And for a race car driver, that's the last thing you want to have happen. So it just gets frustrating when it happens over and over and over again, but it's part of it, and we'll work with it.
And do you feel like Stewart-Haas Racing has done anything to kind of combat the slow start to the season?
Oh, well, it's tough. I mean, there's so many different things to look at. And, there's things that we can kind of cipher through and try and figure out what's worked and what hasn't. But at the end of the day, also, every single track's different. So you can go and try and figure something out at Kansas, and it's completely different when you go to Charlotte. So it's always kind of a little bit of a guessing game with the no practice right now. And you can go to the simulator and definitely work through some things and get some big picture ideas. But it's tough to, really correlate what's going to happen when you hit the racetrack with the certain conditions that you have and how every single one is different.
Appreciate your time. Safe travels.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lee. Again, if you've got a question for Cole, raise your hand or send me a chat, and we'll continue on here. Let's go on to Ashley McCubbin. Ashley, go ahead.
Hey, Cole, you mentioned having the confidence in your ability on the road courses. How would you evaluate Stewart-Haas's overall road course program out of the Grand Cup this season?
I would say for us as an organization, we've been solid on the road course races. We've definitely wanted to be better, but I feel like we've been in the mix at least. I feel like we can run top 10, and from there, it's just a matter of one adjustment and one thing going right on pit road, and you're in the top 5 and looking for a win. So I think it's just a matter of fine tuning it a little bit. But I think I've been pretty happy with our road course cars. It's just a matter of having the whole race play out right.
Guitars, jukeboxes, swords, Miles the Monster. There's a lot of unique trophies in the sport. What's the most unique trophy that you have in your collection, and what trophy would you dream of adding to your collection?
For me, probably the most unique trophy I have is probably, like you said, the Monster Mile trophy. And not only because it was that, because it was the 50th year, I think, when I won. So I got a gold trophy out of it. So that was the year I think everybody wanted to win. Everybody wants to win at Dover anyways because of the Monster Mile trophy. But I think that year was pretty special, and we were lucky enough to win that race. And one that I really want, I mean, I think everybody would probably say Daytona. I mean, that's the coolest trophy you can have in your collection. I mean, but that would be a really cool one to add to the house.
Thanks for your time today.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ashley. Let's go to Nate Ryan, NBC Sports. Hey, Nate.
Hey, Dan, thanks. Cole, following up on Lee's question about where Stewart-Haas stands these days, there's been a lot of discussion, I think, this year about, how much of the load does Kevin Harvick kind of carry to get the organization turned around and pointed in the right direction? Just wondering, like, in your second year as a full-time Cup driver, how much do you think you are contributing more to that effort? Do you feel like you're helping Kevin and able to sort of like just, give the company like better ideas about how to improve?
Yeah, I mean, I think, nobody's happy right now is the thing. So we're all trying to find different things to try and make our cars better. And it's just, like I said before, there's no good way to really go about it right now when you don't have any practice. I mean, it's just, that's the plain and simple point. I mean, when you don't have any practice, you're kind of guessing, and you're thinking through things and trying things at the simulator, and you think they're better, but if you're not able to do it at that certain racetrack, that certain weekend, you really don't know how it's going to work out when you don't have any practice time. So, and in the Cup Series, the competition's so stiff. I mean, if you're off for that first run, it ruins your whole day. So it's just a matter of keep working through things, and eventually we're going to hit on it. And we have some really smart people at SHR that are working really hard. So it's just a matter of keeping ciphering through it is the biggest thing.
What did you learn in having practice at Charlotte? Did you feel as if you learned a lot just in the limited time you had there versus the other races this year?
Yeah, I mean, it points more to what your real problems are, I guess, is what it helps you with. Are you going to find the fix, in a 50-minute practice session? I mean, probably not, but it gives you an idea of those things that you did try. Did they help you, or did they not really make a difference? So we tried a lot of different things, and some things helped a little and some things didn't. So now we can kind of focus more in the directions we need to get better. And from there, it's just fine tuning it.
And finally, Cole, like a lot of teams sort of look at the 600 as an important sort of benchmark, or at least have historically. Can you give us like any insight, like how does Stewart-Haas sort of break down the season, particularly this season, which I know 2021, the calendar is different, but like, have you guys like sort of segmented like where you want to be, or identified certain races of like, this is where we need to sort of reevaluate and see where things stand, moving forward through the regular season toward the playoffs?
Oh, well, I think during the summertime, you just kind of got to dig in and grind it out. I mean, we're racing for a long time in the summertime. It gets hot. And I think it's just one of those things you kind of have to stay focused on what your goal is, and that's making the playoffs. So for us, points wise, the last few weeks haven't been too good for us. So we're going to have to try and probably think out of the box and look for more wins, I think, find out how to win a race here in the summertime. And from there, it's just trying to grind it out and every single race matters for us right now. So we have to make sure we're bringing everything we got.
Great. Thanks, Cole. Thanks, Dan.
You're welcome. Coming back for more, Lee Spencer. Go ahead, Lee.
I wanted to give everybody a shot first, but just curious, does it help when you go through struggles like this that you have somebody who you're used to dealing with, like Shiplet, just to kind of keep you pumped up and remind you of the good times?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the thing is, at this level, everybody's had success before, and you do have to remind yourself at times that things were, when you were having those good days, and that kind of keeps you going. But I think it's just one of those things you just have to keep grinding, and it's not easy. I mean, nobody likes to go through the dry spells and everything like that, but it happens, and you have to just figure out ways to keep working at it and work with your team and having good people around you that, want to keep working at it and want to keep pushing you to be better. That's what you need.
And did you guys not have a technical alliance with Go Fast before they shut down?
I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure we did. I'm not going to give you any solid answers really with that one. I don't know the specifics on that, honestly, but yeah.
Well, I just, I'm starting to see some speed out of Roush, and I'm, looking at Stewart-Haas Racing and see the speed. I mean, clearly with the 550 package, Team Penske struggled, at Charlotte as well. But, being able to see some bright glimmer of hope out of Roush with Buescher, I'm thinking, it's just a matter of time before you guys turn things around at Stewart-Haas as well.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's just the little things. I mean, I know at times, it really sucks to run 20th or 25th, but if you can get yourself just a 10th or two better, you're running around 10th. So it's a matter of just getting those little things better. And the more and more you work at it, and the more you fine tune it and you figure out which direction you need to go in, you're going to be in the ballpark.
And I'll turn the floor over to Pockrass and let him drill you now. So have a good weekend.
Bob indeed has made the call, and I notice he's got a different background, so maybe we're in a different location. Bob, welcome, and go ahead and ask your question. But he's frozen.
No, it's just coming off our Zoom. Then
There he is. There you go. We can hear you, Bob.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're a little wavy, but go ahead, give it a shot.
I'm curious with the change in aero package, with the aero packages from last year or from a couple of years ago. What film or what are you guys studying for this race at Sonoma?
Yeah, that's a tough one. So obviously I'll probably go back to 2018 when it was the low downforce package, and I'll watch some of that for sure. But obviously you're going to miss a few corners with that. So you're just kind of, in those corners that you don't have, you're going to kind of guesstimate a little bit, to be honest, and you're going to use your simulator, our Ford Performance, and we're going to get an idea of what we need to be, where we need to be braking and where we need to be doing things in those few corners where the carousel is. And I think it's turn 7 after the carousel. So it's a matter of, I think the Ford Performance Simulator is going to be a big part of, being able to know where your lift point's going to be and figuring out, how you're going to attack those corners going into the weekend.
All right, I think Bob is good.